What's up, everybody? Just wanted to make a little update video, a little study video, a journal video, just talking about some recent moves, and overall just starting to think about how I can right the ship, start going the right way. Because honestly, I slipped up the last few weeks. I kept saying I wanted to size down, slow down, this and that, and I just I started chasing losses, and it just never stopped. And I kept saying I'm gonna stop, and I just didn't. So I'm tied my former self for biggest downswing of my career record. So right now I'm at 1.82 on the overall, which is $130,000 off my highs. So I'm on a $130,000 downswing. What's worse is most of that downswing is over the last 2 weeks. So in the last 2 weeks, I think I've lost 80,000. So I'm spiraling out of control at this point. So what I did was, I did what every trader should do when they're spiraling out of control. I took a lot of money off my margin account, and I'm currently in the process of transferring the $45,000 or $50,000 from the margin account. I'm transferring that into a cash account. So what that's going to do is when I use that capital, if I sell back the stock, I won't be able to trade with that capital again for the entire day. And that's very useful because when you can't control yourself, if you can create processes or open accounts that help you control yourself, then that's what you got to do. And that's what I did back in the day. I mean, I haven't felt like this. I haven't had this level of, I would say, despair. I mean, it's a really, really bad feeling. It reminds me of when I lost 2/3 of my wealth in the very beginning. I started with 33K. I ended up having 12 or 13K left, and I had to completely just close the account, or not close it, but take the money off it and just paper traded for 6 months. Now, the reason why I'm not going to paper trade is because I feel like more now than ever before in trading. This is the first bear market that I've experienced in 5 years of trading. It's we've been uptrending on the overall for like 10 years, and this is like the first year that for a long period of time the market hasn't performed, right? And I know that lately it's kind of bounced up a little, but overall stocks are just getting crushed, and it's not really helping. Like, generally, if we're in a bear market and we're still in that overall downtrend, things are still gonna get ugly, or could get ugly. So there's new conditions, right? Okay, new conditions, new trading, and I'm sure everybody sees it, everybody feels it. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, more now than ever, when you buy a stock, the price and movement will react to your order. There are conditions where you'll buy a stock and the market will react by surging it higher or upticking it higher than your entry. And those are bullish conditions that are just absolutely, I didn't know how fortunate I was at the time to be able to just surge stocks myself and basically get uptrends going myself with the help of the algorithm, because it was set, right? It was in that setting of bullishness. Everything is upticking, everything reacts positively to people. Somebody sells, well, it would uptick after their sell. If I buy, it would uptick more. And now what you're seeing, or what I'm seeing, is that when I buy in, immediately it downticks immediately. The trading stops immediately. Liquidity goes away immediately. It goes down, and that's because there's not a lot of people trading right now. It's mostly algorithm, and when you get situations where it's mostly algorithm, it's gonna take advantage of basically the illiquidity, and it can just take full advantage of people, you know, as they buy in and just do whatever, essentially just do whatever it wants. And I bet you, if you took away the algorithm or the robotic trading from the market right now, if you took that away, a lot of these charts that you see wouldn't show anything. Okay? I can almost guarantee it. Like, a lot of this stuff, take away the robotic trading, and you would see nothing. You would be like, oh, you can't trade that. Nobody's trading it. Right? But with the algorithm, it really does look like people are trading it. You'll notice a lot of these setups or a lot of these moves, they'll look great, you'll buy in, you'll get crushed, and then somehow, some way, then it spikes, then it goes, then it does this, then it does that. And it's just, look, I mean, I'm very like pattern orientated. I feel things kind of intuitively, and then kind of make assumptions of how often is this happening, is this a pattern, is this not? And that's not a perfect process, but I can almost guarantee you that a lot of these spikes that are impressive, that you miss, or you bought in and you got out before the spike, a lot of that sort of stuff, a lot of that stuff isn't what you think. It's like, it's almost like if you tried it or you were in it, it wouldn't have happened, or it would have sold off until you got out. And you know what I mean? It's like it wouldn't have allowed you to catch that move, because that move is fake, essentially. It's just robots trading, you know, wash trading to itself and creating these moves just at the right times when probably not many people are in. Like, I can't really explain it other than I am not really a believer in a lot of these moves. I'm not convinced that a lot of this stuff is real. Like, if you look at Huddy, for example, very strange move. I was too scared to get involved in this. It's the best move we've seen in a while. And looking back, it looks sick. I probably should have taken it. But I'm stressed out of my mind right now, and it's a $60 stock, and I don't know. It's just, I'm obviously in a tough place, and I just didn't feel comfortable taking it, but that ended up being just, you know, a really amazing, great setup. You know, just so illiquid. Just very strange price action, and I had a PR on, you know, yesterday, and then in the morning it sets up kind of, and then it starts to go. And then it goes into this halt, and if you notice, iLag did the same thing, right? Now this is something that is just so strange. Like, okay, so if you look at iLag, crap, I haven't made content in such a long time. I keep forgetting which window I'm even looking at. It's embarrassing. I was looking at Huddy, but alright, I'll pull up Huddy. Okay. So yeah, Huddy was the nice setup. But yeah, this sell-off is what I'm talking about though. It'll be like, it'll have news, it'll just start tanking and then reverse into like a major run. Let's see. iLag kind of did the same thing when it had this multi-day setup. And then look at this volume though. This is what I don't quite get. It's like all this volume comes in and it's so choppy in a volatile way that to me, this is not real human trading. This is heavy algorithm. Like, if you took away the robotic trading, I mean, I would bet 95% of this trading was robotic. I mean, I'm not convinced this was real humans at all. It just comes straight up, it comes straight down. It doesn't look or feel natural to me at all. I mean, it just looks like the fakest bullshit I've ever seen. You know, it's just, I'm not convinced, you know, anymore that a lot of this stuff is even real people. And then afterwards, it's like, you know, it goes from all this volume and now nothing. Like, it just seems very strange. A lot of manipulation is happening right now. It's just strange stuff. We got, and of course, so I've noticed a lot of this stuff where a stock will bottom. It'll just hold with very little liquidity for multiple days, which is like the entry zone. And so I saw this sort of thing where it kind of held for a few days and then it started to uptrend. So I took 30,000 shares at 150 and I knew I had to swing trade it, so I held it. You know, I held it for a day. And then I just, you know, on like day 3, I was like, well, it's a lot of capital that's I can't trade with now, and it's just sitting here, and it could get a bad PR. Anything bad could happen, and I just got kind of uncomfortable, and I sold it. You know, at 148 for like a $600 loss, and this is really what's been happening to me a lot lately. Is I'll just get impatient because the stuff is taking so long. I'll just sell for like a huge loss because there's very little liquidity, and then the littlest or the smallest kind of, I don't know, just the liquidity goes away and then you just have nowhere to sell. I mean, this one I got out at a good spot, but a lot of them I don't, and I take massive losses where, I mean, I really never thought that I would take a massive loss, and it kind of happens unexpectedly and out of the blue, and it's just a lot of robotic trading right now, and I don't know. But anyways, this held up and started, you know, perked a bit, but the point is it took 5 days to get a move. It's like, man, the market is so slow right now. Just to get the moves, I mean, you gotta wait like 5 days to get to where you're thinking it can go, and it's just tough. I mean, waiting 5 days for one single play, that is not it's not fun. But it finally got the PR, it finally made a run, and then it came right back down after an offering. So I mean, the moves are still happening. They're just taking a very long time. They're taking way more planning and more patience, and it's definitely a lot more stressful, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know, just a lot of chop, a lot of kind of, it's really hard to feel comfortable and confident right now. But I've come to the realization that new time frames, you know, even though you might have an idea of the strategy that you want to use, which is pretty much the same, I want to use the same strategy that I've always used, just it's a different scale. I mean, it takes a lot longer. Like things like this, WETG. So I've noticed this a lot, where you'll get these setups, they'll work, or they'll get news and just do this, you know, like a big move up, but then I'm seeing them basically get crushed back down, and then it could be 1 week, it could be 2 weeks, they just get really illiquid and kind of just they sometimes they even wash lower. You know, I've also seen this where they come back down, they do something like this for a few days, and then you'll get an entry zone, right? You'll get the re-entry, and then it'll retest. And it's kind of like, I mean, it kind of just comes out. I've never seen this stuff quite like this, where it'll just come so low and then just bounce back so kind of confidently. It's almost like it's completely fake. I don't know. Like, this market does things to your head for sure. I'm just not sure what's real or not anymore. Huddy, just to talk about it again, I mean, I had this day where it went from 30 to 68, and that put it on my radar, and then, oh, this is a nice example of what I was talking about, where it comes back down, and I saw it, I was like, wow, it is doing the pattern, where it does a big spike, it comes down lower than the starting point. This seems like a really nice place for an entry. So I took 500 shares, and this is what's so frustrating to me right now is, so I took 500 shares at like 22.80 or something like that. I don't know exactly where. It may have even been 23, but I expected a bounce by the end of the day. And hours go by and no liquidity comes in, and then you're sitting there, you know, and it's like, well, I'm not really comfortable with swinging this $20 a share stock overnight. You know, what if it gaps down $5 a share? What if it goes, you know, gets a bad PR, goes down, you know, $10 a share? Suddenly I lose 5K overnight over some silly stuff. How about I just sell it and reevaluate? Well, I sold it, and then the next day it gaps up to 27 with the crazy, you know, spread, and then it's like, well, okay, like now I get it. I had the right entry. Everything's a swing, even though in my last video I said I didn't want to swing, but I'm coming to the realization that I have to, because once those entry days are gone, the price just runs to the point where it's very hard to get involved afterwards, because it's just so choppy, so unpredictable. It's almost like there's nothing is safe anymore. You can get any entry that you think is good. Like on this day, for example, if you saw a pop, it comes down, maybe you scooped a dip buy or something at 25.50, and the next day it's up, it's doing good. And then, you know, you want to give it a few days because everything seems to be taking a while, and it just starts to tank. It's like, this market is so choppy and so scary, it's really easy to get stopped out and abandon your plan on emotion. And then it's just, this is just the hardest market I've ever experienced. But yeah, I just have no control over myself to the point where, yeah, I'm just gonna be trading on a 45K cash account, so if I use capital, I won't be able to use it again for the rest of the day. I mean, that will definitely help me, because I've been kind of losing my mind and taking like a ridiculous, probably 100 trades a day, just losing my mind in and out, just losing money, just, yeah, completely lost control of myself. And this is gonna make, at the very least, if I keep losing money, I mean, it's gonna make it's gonna slow me down probably like 50x or something. So it'll definitely stop the bleeding. And I'm just gonna pretend like I never traded before. I need to show up and just learn. I don't know how to make money in this current market and these current patterns, okay? I'm gonna have to take just small size with my cash account, be really precise, plan things out, slow down, and if I just, I just need to let go of what was and start fresh. I mean, this is a new type of market. It's completely new, very challenging, and I got to relearn it. So how do you relearn a strategy, or how do you develop a new strategy? You have to build that strategy from the ground up, and the only way that you build that foundation is if you start with very small size and a lot of discipline. The cash account will give me discipline. It's a smaller account than what I'm used to, so that's kind of small size for me. And I should be able to start relearning that. And yeah, so that's where I'm at. I don't expect a recovery from me for a very long time. Still need to update my overall chart. I'll be doing that this weekend. That'll be fun. I have to manually upload it. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it's been rough. It's just so strange kind of realizing that things aren't going to go back to the way they were, and this bear market could last for a long time, and that, you know, it's just strange losing control to the point where I feel just like I felt, you know, when I took these massive losses when I was first starting out, when I was brand new. Like, I had no clue, I felt lost. And the fact that you can go from such a high point to like such a low point again, I mean, it's been pretty eye-opening. It's been a slap in the face for sure. And I just got to relearn basically everything. So, yeah, it'll be a process. Don't expect new highs from me for a long time. I'm basically just a brand new trader at this point. So I'm just a brand new trader. I'm going to be developing and learning. Basically, I know nothing again. So I can just try to build a new strategy. And hopefully I can share that process. And we'll see what happens, but that's just where I'm at right now. I'll try to start getting some data together, try to look at some movers, some patterns, and just start thinking about this stuff and actually start to execute the plans. With the smaller size, I should be able to swing comfortably. And I'll get more into that in the future, but for now, I just needed to get it out there that everyone knows I've been having trouble, but I just, you know, I finally took the money off the margin account. I'll be trading cash. Just need some control back, and the best way to stop the bleeding is to use a cash account instead of a margin. So I'm about to slow way down, and I'm just at the point I don't care if I make money for a long time. I just don't. I gotta relearn, and the most important thing for me right now is protection over profits. That's what led to my success in the first place, and I totally, you know, that's a very important concept that I just let kind of go. And time to grab the concept back and hold on tight to it, because I'm gonna have to protect my capital in this bear market before caring about anything else. So anyways, I'm gonna just stop the video here. In the future, I'm gonna just focus more on the actual recaps, the stocks that move, look at them, analyze them, and hopefully I can stop talking about how bad things are for me and just start getting back into the actual trading aspect of it. So money is money. Life goes on. I'm breathing. All right. I'm fortunate. A lot of good things. All right. We're alive. We're breathing. That's step one. We're in a good place. Let's just restart with some control over our accounts. All right. Be careful. Be safe out there. Thanks for watching. See ya.